Okay, this is ITS 148, and it is the first class period, August 27th, 2019. And so I'm just going to go over what's in La Lima, and so you'll learn about what we're going to be doing this semester, and the course policies and all that. So let me share my screen here. Share. And so I've opened up La Lima here. Let me open up the course. Okay, here's the course. If you click on overview, you see the syllabus, and this is how you join this class. I think that's 93721, yes, 53, yes. And this is when the class is, and I'm recording this. Yes, I'm recording this. All right, so those of you know my office is Copico 207, and so my first target for this is having office hours in these times before on Monday, and then Tuesday and Thursday from 1:30 to 3. But also I'll be around Wednesdays, because on Wednesdays around 12:30 to 1:30 or so, I'm going to have kind of an open lab for my 128 class, because that's online this semester, but I want to have a face-to-face session each week. So anyway, so let me go right down to the course, to the grading, so you can see like what the breakdown of what we're going to do is. There's going to be this assignments section, and that's just going to be some short little assignments that are like in the back of the chapter, very similar to the ones that are back of the chapter of each chapter. There are these chapter quizzes, and those are just multiple choice quizzes. And then there are these group projects. Should this be 20%? Yes, this should be 20%. And group projects are 50, 25. Okay, yes, this should be 20%. You have to learn how to. One of the things you have to get out of classes like this is how to work with somebody else, how to work on a team. And I've done a lot of research in this because I never liked working on teams when I was a student, and I don't like having my classes work on teams, because it's the imbalance of labor and all that kind of stuff. But I've been doing some research, and I found that that paired programming, where you just team up in pairs, that eliminates a lot of the problems when you have more than two, and you do it in such a way where one person's at the keyboard and the other person is standing behind, saying what to type. Okay. And you decide which you're going to do, and you just basically write little code modules that way. And so I'm real curious to see if this works, because I haven't tried it yet. But anyway, so there's going to be just a couple of those, and it's going to be 10% each. Now, this is the calendar. Okay, so we're using this textbook, this Murach 2015. If you've seen it already. Let's see. I think I could pull up a replica of it. Let me do that. I didn't bring a copy of the book, but I have one, like a replica. Oh no, I can just no. I'll just search Amazon. I'll just search. No, I can go to Vital Source. I think I can do this. Let's see, do I have one here? This one, is it still here? Okay, yes, this is it. Let's see, can I see the beginning of it? Okay, yes, it looks like this. Can I make this smaller somehow? And so, yeah, you've seen this in the bookstore. So it's a real thick book, and you know, lots of textbooks. You know, you don't. It's especially when you're in IT. You know, stuff changes so quickly. It's you may want to save your textbooks for a long time or not. But this particular textbook, I think, is a good textbook to save for a while because it's kind of like a cookbook, and each section is sort of is almost independent of each other. So if you want to figure out how to do something like use a particular type of control or something, you can just usually look it up in this book and and be able to put it together real quickly. But anyway, so we're going to be covering chapters. Well, you know, you've all had 128, so you know we're actually starting, you know, pretty early. I mean, a lot of this stuff is review. A lot of this stuff is you're just going to be familiar with it, or you're going to be familiar with it, but you're going to look at it again from the perspective of a different textbook. And so, you know, you'll probably pick up some things that you didn't that didn't occur to you in 128. So anyway, so we're going to do chapter 2 and 3 real quick, and then we're going to do chapters, and then after that it's going to be about one chapter a week, you know, 2 class periods, except for chapter 5 is kind of long, so I've allocated an extra day. And chapter 8 is kind of long. We're doing, in chapter 8 we're doing arrays and lists, which you remember from 128, and then strings, and then more regarding forms, multiple forms, message boxes, and so on, and then some more on how to debug, and then the first chapter on how to create and use classes. This is the first chapter of like the 3rd section or something, and it goes more into inheritance and all that kind of stuff, which we aren't going to really go that deeply into, but you have to know how to, you know, you have to know about classes and how to create classes and objects and all that. You know, it's object-oriented programming. Then we're going to skip up to the database section, and we're going to do the first 3 chapters of the 4-chapter database section. So we're going to spend a little time on that and learn about databases. And then there's the Thanksgiving holiday, and then we're going to come back, and we're just going to do chapter 21, which is files. And you remember files from 128. We did text files in 128. So we're just going to do that again, and then binary files also. And then we have the last week here, just to either do the projects, or I'd like to do a project in between sometime, or maybe we'll fall behind or whatever. We have a little bit of cushion there. All right, so that's the schedule. And as far as these quizzes go, these are just, you know, you can go here, click on quizzes, and the first 2 are up already. And the reason they're numbered, they're numbered kind of funny, just because I've adapted them from previous semesters, and I've done some adjusting and additions and so on. And so I've got these little, some of them have these little letter designators, and it's not, you know, like quiz 19 comes on day 22 and so on. So it's not, doesn't fall in line like that. They're mostly in order, except for 21 as this last one, 21C, is I think I'm gonna, I mean, I'd like to have a convention where the number has to do with the chapter. So that's the first one where that's the case. So this is 21 because it's chapter 21. But anyway, so so these are the chapters that we're going to cover, how much time we're going to spend on each chapter, and it should be pretty, you know, it shouldn't be, you know, there's not going to be a lot of work. There's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be short things, and not really big projects. As you'll see, these assignments, some assignments are really short, some assignments are a little longer. I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to weight each one of them, but they're either going to be like 5 points, 10 points, or maybe some 15-point ones. We'll see as we go. But when we add it all up, it's going to count 50% of your grade. You can see all of them. You can see all the assignments. If you go to resources here, there's some stuff here that's pretty, that you're going to refer to. Here are the exercises. Actually, if you click on, okay, this is a zip file that is exactly the same as this. Okay, and this has the starting files for a lot of the exercises. A lot of the exercises, the book, these are all taken from the book. The book gives you a starting file, and then you go in and you add a bunch of stuff to it. And all of your projects, when you're done with them, you're going to submit them so I can take a look at them, and so I can download them and turn them on or start them up and look at them. But so here's this exercises.pdf here. That's if you look at that, it's in a couple places. You can look and see what all the assignments are, all the exercises, and I've only listed. It's only the ones that are assigned to you. So I took out, you know, this comes from the book, yeah, and I took out the ones that I'm not assigning you. And these are all just the ones I'm assigning you, and they're very simple. Well, they start out simple and then they get harder. But like the first one, exercise 2-1, all you do is you make this form. You don't make it work, you just make the form. Okay, you just make this. Yeah, that's easy, right? And then exercise 3-1 is where you make it work. Okay, and it's easy. It's just like this if statement. That's it. Okay, so it starts out easy, and as you go along, they get a little bit harder as you get farther in the book. And these exercises here are almost exactly the same as the exercises that are in the back of the chapter. They're almost exactly the same as the exercises that they go through and show you how to do it in the chapters. And you know, they give you the code and everything. So it's actually a pretty easy way to learn. I mean, you really are learning by doing. You know, it's like they give you some starting code. They give you they tell you how to find or generate some other code, and you put that in there, and you put it in the right place, and you hook up, make sure the variable names are all correct, and then you run it, and you see that it works. You see what it does, and then you can go back and figure out what your code did and why the code made it work the way it worked, and so on. So anyway, so you'll refer to this document throughout the semester. So what I would do is, this is the zip file. It's not that big. It's only 3.4 megabytes. So I'm going to download this zip file, and I'm going to put it down here in this special place they give me on this computer here, this computer that's in the classroom here. So I'm going to save that zip file, and then I'm going to go to it. It's in here, and here it is, and I'm going to unzip it, extract all, just put it back in the same place. And I don't know if you have thaw space. Do you have thaw spaces on these machines, or are these? No, these get erased every night. Oh, okay, good. So you know, you can put it on a thumb drive, or you know, USB drive, or you can do this at home or whatever. Do it, or you can do it every time. If you come to class and you do these things, you can just pull it down every time. And I'm actually going to try to have, here's chapter 3. So I've got a zipped one here, so you can just download chapter 3 if you want to. I'm going to try to remember to do that for the rest of these, have zip files there. So if you come to class and you're going to do it in class, because I'm going to do all these exercises in class. See, I'm going to try to do them all in class. Now, it may be that I don't finish or whatever, but I probably will be able to finish. And so if you follow along in class, or you follow along by watching this video that's you can have access to after you're done, I'll put the video up. Then you should be able to get all the exercises correct. And if you go back to so that's the exercises. That's 50% your grade, and that's 25% the quizzes. And okay, so the way the quizzes work is they're different from previous class quizzes that if you've taken a class from me before. With these quizzes, the way they're set up is you have 3 chances to take the quiz, okay? But after you take the quiz the first time, you go in and you can see which questions you got wrong, okay? So it's the questions you got right, you just leave those alone. And the questions you got wrong, okay, if they're multiple choice, you have 4 choices for each answer. You go, oh, I got that one wrong. Well, it's not that one. It's got to be one of the other 3. And then you check that and you can submit again. Oh, I still got it wrong. Okay, must be one of the other 2. And then you try again. And if you don't get it that time, too bad, man. You know, just unlucky, I guess. Okay. But it shouldn't be that bad. Okay, so in other words, if you stick to it and you get through it all, you should get all the points on the quizzes. And so that's really good. And if you actually get all the points on the quizzes and get all the points on the assignments, you know, you'll probably be the smartest one of the pair, and you can be the one standing behind the person at the keyboard, and you can just be rattling off what the other person's supposed to type. So let's take a look at one of these quizzes. I'm going to open up this quiz here, and I'm going to begin the assessment. And the primary components of the .NET framework are the .NET framework library and it's one of these. I'm not sure which one it is. So anyway, I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. Anyway, so you go through this quiz. This is chapter 1 or this is chapter 1. Okay, I tell you, well, anyway, let's come back to this. Let's come back to this. Okay, for assignments, okay, let me show you assignments. So I've got the first 2 assignments. Well, I've just put them here. So this is how you'll do it. It says, complete exercise 2-1 described here, and this just refers back to this thing. So you're going to do exercise 2.1, 2-1, and then you're going to, when you're all done, I should explain it a little more. But when you're all done, you zip up your project and you submit it. And I've got so I'm going to have to keep up. Okay, this is different than last semester. I'm going to have to keep up because I'm going to have to look at every one of these exercises that you submit to make sure it's right. Now, there are some exercises like as you saw, 3-1. For 3-1, you start with what you did in 2-1, because 2-1 is just making the form, and 3-1 is making that form work. So if you want, you can just do 3-1. You know, just start to do 2-1 and do 3-1. Okay, let's say you start to fall behind a little bit, and you know you're going to jam through a bunch of them like some weekend or something. Then for this example, you can just go right to doing 3-1, and then, but I would like you to submit it for 2-1 also. So you just do 3-1, and then you go back to 2-1 and you submit it there also, and they're exactly the same. But you will have done 2-1. It's just that you've also, you know, have the code in there too. And the reason for that is because at the end, when I'm going through and grading, probably not you guys, because you're actually have come to class, so you're more responsible, I guess. But at the end, there's often a bunch of them, where most people are on time with most of them, with most of the assignments, but at the end you may fall behind a little bit, and so you may submit a bunch at the end, and so then I've got a bunch to grade. I don't know however it happens, I have a bunch to grade at the end, and so it's easy for me to start with an assignment and just go through all of them. And if you have submitted nothing for 2-1, but you have submitted something for 3-1, I might not catch that you actually did something for 2-1, even though you 3-1 is the same as 2-1. So for that reason, I'd like you to submit something for everything, because it depends on when I grade it. All right, yeah, that makes sense. You may recall last semester I didn't. I don't know if I think it may have been this class, but I didn't insist that you do that. So it was kind of hard at the end when there was like a couple missing assignments, like missing assignment 7, 6, assignment 8, but then assignment 9 was there, and I had to remember, oh, you had to do assignment 7 and 8 before you could do assignment 9. So the fact that you handed in assignment 9 means you did the work of 8 and 7 and so on. So anyway, you know what I mean. All right, so the assignments are there. The grade book is it's just going to be built up. It's just going to be like it was last time. All right, so it's 3:43. This class goes to 4:30. I was gonna let me open up the slides, resources, PowerPoint slides. Shoots, I should have zipped them up. But anyway, so let's, this is, I'm gonna, oh, no, I don't need chapter 1. Chapter 2, oh, I was gonna look at chapter 1 to figure out, see what the answers, if we could find the answers to the, applied knowledge.net, describe. See, you taking 140 or taking 120. By the way, just a side trivia. We're actually changing 128. So it's not gonna use the same language as 148. So if you happen to take let's see. So I guess that's not going to apply to you guys at all, because presumably you get through 148, and then when you get to 228, it's just going to be an extension of 128. But our 128 is going to focus a lot more on just the skill of programming, and so it'll be very appropriate for, and it's going to be less on Visual Studio. You're not going to cover. We aren't going to cover hardly any Visual Studio in 128 anymore. So you guys are actually kind of ahead as far as 148 goes, because you are all pretty familiar with Visual Studio already. Let's see. So web forms, MVC Studio. Okay, this is old. This textbook is old because we're on 2019 already. But anything we do should work with 2015 or 2017 or 2019. So these are the languages: a .NET framework, class library, common language runtime. So I was that was the answer to that one question, Visual Studio IDE, which you should be real familiar with. Got the toolbox on the left and the Server Explorer on the left, Solution Explorer on the right, properties, the design window is usually in the middle. How a C# application is compiled and run. You've experienced this in the previous class. So 25. All right, so this is chapter 1, and we aren't even really technically covering chapter 1. Let me go to chapter 2. Okay, here we cover Windows Forms application, which is what that's designing the form, and then chapter 3. So this you should remember all this stuff. This is where we're building this. In this example, we're building this invoice total form, and we start out with looking something like that, where we put all the labels and all the controls on the form, and then we go through and we change the names of all of them. So it ends up looking like this. Change the text fields and change the names of the controls. Like this is the exit button. It's called BTN exit. I think last semester I encouraged you to use this naming convention, the naming convention that's in this textbook, because it works better with the IntelliSense feature of Visual Studio. So in this textbook, it does a lot of this, where it lists everything that you're supposed to do. It lists the controls you're supposed to add. It tells you what to name everything. It tells you what to set the properties to in the controls. And in this particular example, we're actually setting, so we're changing the names of some of these things. This is what we're changing, we're setting the shortcut keystrokes, the ampersand there, so you just type an S and it'll tab to the subtotal. And here we're seeing how we can rename stuff. And here we're using this convention because in this textbook we're going to be doing stuff with multiple forms. So we actually want to not have our forms just default to form 1, because there's going to be form 1, form 2, form 3. They're going to mean something. So this is chapter 2. It's 349. Now, if we let's try to open up Visual Studio. And to do that, let me just go over here. What is this? Visual Studio 2019. Oh, this is, oh, I know what that is. All right, this is a new interface. Create a new project. Okay, I'm going to create a console app. No. .NET Core, no. Win, Presentation Foundation, Windows Presentation Foundation, empty project, console app, Windows Desktop Wizard, Windows Desktop Application. I think it's Windows Desktop Application. Oh, C#. Wait. Here, this one. Yes, this one. Windows Forms app. That's it. C# Windows Desktop. Great. All right, and I'm going to name it something. Oh, let's go to the assignment. see what the assignment says. Here, assignment, resources. PD, is this thing open? Let's go up here. All right. Design a simple form. So I'm going to do this one here. Start a new project named Calculate Letter Grade. Okay, I'm going to name it Calculate Letter Grade. Where? In the, let me go down to where I did my thing here. Thaw space, Halverson, exercises, chapter 2. They want me to make a chapter 2. Okay. Chapter space 02. And inside chapter 2, I will put this calculate letter grade directory. All right. Select the in there, and it's going to be called calculate letter grade. Place solution and project in the same directory. Create. All right, here's this. And let me go to here and go into here. And here it is, right there. My starting code. Okay, let me make it more easy for me to see this stuff. All right, so I'm going to make something that looks like this, I guess. Add the labels, text boxes, and buttons to the form as shown above. Then set the properties of these controls as follows. Okay, so there's label 1, label 2, text box 1, text box 2, button 1, button 2. So I'm going to click over here. I'm going to click on Toolbox, and then I'm going to pin the toolbox. And then I'm going to throw some, let me just make this a little bit skinny here. I'm going to throw some labels on there. Oh, I want common controls. I'm going to be fancy here. I'm going to put a label, and I'm going to put a text box here. And I'm going to, for the label, I'm going to make it say down here, properties. Forget it. I'll just do what the instructions say. First, put all those things on there. Put all these. So there's label 1. I'm going to do copy paste. It doesn't matter how you do it. Just get 2 of them, two labels and 2 text boxes there, and then put a button here and another button right next to it. There you go. So now we have label 1, label 2, text box 1, text box 2. Let's confirm that. Let's see, there's a place where we can. Never mind, this is fine. Okay. Anyway, so when we click on, I'm going to move this up like this. So put it right there. So the properties is the whole column here. So if I want to go to Solution Explorer now, I go here, properties over here. So when I click on label 1, you'll notice right here it says label 1 right there. And then label 2, it says, oh, label 2 says label 2 right there. And this is text box 1, says text box 1. This says text box 2. This is button 1 and button 2. And if I click out here, it's the form. Okay. So they want me to, the default name for label 1. I'm not going to change the names of any of these things. Guess not. Default name, label 1. And we want it to say ampersand number grade. So I clicked on label 1, and let me find what the text property. See, it says text right there. So over here on the left, let me find text. Here's name. That's not what I want. Text. Here it is. Text right there. So instead of saying label 1, I want it to say ampersand number space grade colon. Okay, so it looks like that. Move that over. And notice there's a line underneath N. So now I can just hold the control key down and press N, and it'll go right to that, I guess. Label 2. Text align is middle left. So text align, it says left here, so I'm going to click down on that and text align, middle left. Is there something else? Oh, never mind. I want to go over here. And this text align is middle left. Text align, top left, middle left. This is middle left. All right. And tab align of 0. So this should be tab align of 0. Tab index. Tab index 0. Let's see. Tab index right here, 0. There it is. It's already 0. Okay, label 2. It should be right here, and this one should say letter grade. So let's find the text field. Here it is, text field, and it's going to say letter grade. And it's text align is middle left. Text align is middle left. And text box 1. We are naming them. Okay, text box 1. That's text box 1. Let's name this text box 1 TXT number grade. So the name of it, right here, down here, it's name it TXT number grade. Okay, so now the name of this text box is TXT number grade instead of text box 1. Okay. Okay, it says TXT number grade up there now. And the tab index of that should be 1, so there it is. It's 1. That's good. Now, text box 2, the name should be TXT letter grade. So let me move this over here and put TXT letter grade for the name right here. TXT letter grade. Enter. And that one is going to be read only. So that means that you cannot write into it. The computer is going to write into it. Your program is going to write something in there. The human who's operating this program is not going to write anything in there. So let's make this read only. Read only right here. So we're going to change that to true. And tab stop is going to be false right here. Make this false because when we're tabbing, we don't want to stop there. Okay, and then the button. If you're from the mainland, you say button. You locally say button. Maybe. Let's see. Name is button. BTN. Calculate. And we want the text of the button to say ampersand calculate. Ampersand calculate. This is the button, and the button 2 is exit. So we want the name to be BTN exit, and we want it to say capital E ampersand XIT. And what that does is you hold the control key down and you type the X for exit, and it's gonna it'll tab right to that button. All right, so tab index of 3. Oh, it says 5. It's wrong. 3. Wait a minute. Okay, that's 3. And then the calculate should be 2, and it says 4, 2. Okay, the calculate should be tab index of 2. Exit should be tab index of 3. And text box 1, or text number grade should be tab index of 1. Tab index 1. And letter grade should be tab stop false. Tab stop false. All right. So now we have our form here, and now the form itself. The text property, we want it to say calculate letter grade. So I click on the form, and I go to text, and I'm going to go to text. Right now it says form 1. Form 1, that's the name. Where's the text? I know you're seeing it. Here it is. All right, I'm going to make the text say calculate letter grade, calculate letter grade. And then I also, for the form, I'm gonna I'm not gonna name the form, huh? Okay. Okay, accept button. Okay, so I find a property called accept button, and that'll make it so if you type in the number grade and you press the enter, it's gonna be just like pressing the button calculate button. So let's find accept button. That would be maybe it's a property, and accept button, accept button, application binding, application settings, no, data bindings, no, accept. Here it is, MISC, down in the MISC, accept button. I want it to be button calculate. And the cancel button, I want it to be button exit. Button exit. All right. And the start position should be the center screen. All right, start position, center screen. Okay, use the form designer to adjust the size, the position of controls, and the size of the form so they look as shown above. Okay, so I'm gonna grab all this, and I'm gonna kind of put it over there, and I'm gonna go over here, and I'm gonna move this over here. I'm gonna move this over here, and I'm gonna make it smaller. There we go. So it's about like this. Oh, I'm gonna make these smaller too because the number grade. Make it down to there, and this down to there. And maybe I'll make this, put this over here a little bit. Make this. All right, whatever, that looks great. That's just wonderful looking. Okay. And then that's it. Save the project and all of its files. Well, you know, it's a good idea to run it. Let's just run it and see what it does. It shouldn't do anything, but it should pop up in the center. There it is, the center. Oh, look, we can't even see the whole top thing there. That's no good. Exit. See, it doesn't do anything. So I want to be able to see more of the letter grade. I know I'm being anal. Start. Still I can't see it. There. Okay, so it's 4:06. Okay, so now let me show you this. So now what you would do is you're done, right? We're done with the first one. We're done with this first one. So I'm gonna go and I ran it to see that it ran, and then I'm going to do save all, and then I'm going to exit. So now I've exited. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to where my where my project is, and for you it's going to be on the desktop, or it's going to be wherever it is. And here's mine, and so this is my program here, and I've got 4:05 p.m. That's about what time it is now. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to find this folder right here. See, it's all inside here. I'm going to go to this folder here, and here now I can right click, and I'm going to send to compressed. So there's my compressed thing, and then I'm going to go back to where to my Laulima, and I'm going to go to my assignments folder, and I'm going to go down here, and I'm working on assignment 2. I just finished it. So now I'm going to submit it. So right here I'm going to choose the file, and I'm going to go find where it was, that zip file I just zipped up. There it is, the zip file I just zipped up, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to submit it. And there, I'm done. I did the first assignment. Got that? That easy. Now, of course, the second assignment, while you're at it, I'm not going to do it, but while you're at it, you should go take a peek at the second assignment here, which is this one. And for this one, you're going to code and test it. So in this exercise, you're going to add, let me make it bigger. You're going to add code to the thing you just did, and then you're going to build and test it. So they want you to open up the letter grade project that's in 3. Don't tell me there's one in there. What is this? Okay, look, they did it for you already, okay? So don't hand this in. How am I going to know that you didn't hand this in? Let me see this. This is what, I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'll be able to tell. When you do this part 2, don't change the name of the, here we've changed the names of some other things. We changed the name of the form. So don't do that with the first one. Anyway, so this is fine. So they give you this here, and oh, what does it say here? So you can follow this, and this is for number 3, and so this is different than the class. Notice. It's okay. It doesn't. I guess it doesn't matter to me if you do if you open up exercise 3 from here, if you open it up, or you just use the one that you created. And I'm going to pay attention from now on to make sure that, or to make sure I know what I'm doing when I'm giving you these assignments. But anyway, so Friday I'll continue on with this, and basically we're doing dirt simple stuff first few days here. You're basically just going to copy this code in, and you're going to get the thing to run. But you're going to be setting all the focuses and closes and everything. All right, so see, let me stop sharing. How do I stop sharing? Oops. See, am I done sharing? Can you guys see me? Can you guys out there see me? Okay, anyway, all right, so that's all I have for today. Are there any questions? Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. You don't have to do the quiz today. There's no quiz. There's no quiz today. There's a quiz every day except for today, as you see here. There's no quiz today, but the quiz I just showed you was this one here. And so we'll do this Friday, and Friday will be another easy day, and then after that we'll start to jam a little bit more. All right, so sorry I wasn't sharing my screen when I was showing you the schedule here, but all right, so I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.